ice when Pat Blassie was talking about a Caribbean vacation for January. Might not be a bad idea. Good morning, Pat Blassie from Altair Travel Cruises.
Hey, good morning. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year to you and the fam and everybody else. Why didn't you book me on a flight to the Caribbean for this week?
Why didn't I book myself on a flight to the Caribbean for this week? Gosh. I mean, baby, it's cold outside. It's really bad.
Oh, my goodness. What's going on in the world of travel? Anything?
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really new, except I can tell you the phones started ringing a couple weeks ago, and now I know this week they're going to be crazy. Yeah, I think 1 or 2 days of this is okay, but now people are like, get me out of here. I need some sunshine.
Okay, so this is the question. You're telling me that you can get us for a weekend jaunt somewhere in the next couple weekends?
Oh, sure. Well, I say that so sure, so
right.
Casually. Yeah, I think there's still space out there. Definitely. Now, having said that, it probably, the cost, the pricing's probably a little bit more than what it was a month ago or 2 months ago.
Sure.
But yeah, and if you're serious about going, honestly, one of my tips for the day is, first thing, go pull out your passport. This is a new, you should do this every year on New Year's, and check the expiration. But don't just look at the expiration and say, oh, I'm good. It doesn't expire until October. But if you wanted to go in April, or if you, say it expires in August, and you want to go in March, you can't go. You got to have 6 months return from the date. So don't just look at the expiration. Look at what 6 months earlier would be. Am I saying that right?
No, that makes sense.
I'm saying it backwards.
No. You're saying that whenever your passport expires, you cannot travel on it within 6 months of it expiring.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Like, so our group heading to Italy in May, if your passport
is up in June or July, right,
you're in trouble.
Right. Yeah.
And in fact, you know what? I was one of those people. I was checking mine, and I thought, oh my gosh, because how often do you really just look at your passport?
Right.
It's 10 years. You think, oh, I have plenty of time. And then the other tip is if you're traveling with family, and you think your children's passports are the same as yours, they're not. They were only issued for 5 years, not 10 years. So don't think that, a lot of people put the passports away, they lock them up, and so they just say, oh, yeah, we did that 8 years ago, but they forget the children's expired 2 years ago.
Wow.
So it's a big, honestly, I'm not trying to, I'm teasing about it a little bit, but we've had people more than once, many times, but it has happened that people the day before, or they even get to the airport and they're turned away. So we have to get them, especially if they're going on a trip that's been paid for, that they're going to lose their money. We got to get them to Chicago or to a passport agency and work it all out.
I think
so you
Andrew,
don't want that to happen.
I think Andrew Dowd, the family was going on some European something, and somebody had to send him up to Chicago to get the passport
that's
done.
What you do.
Yeah.
So you don't go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens.
Well, and the thing about renewing your passport is you go to the post office and you send it to some nameless, faceless bureaucracy in the air, and then 3 months later, 3 weeks later, they send you a new one in the mail. It's a strange process.
Well, it is a strange process, and if you do, if you're not comfortable with that, I am not. I mean, I will use an expediter. I'll use an agency that where you actually overnight your passport. It's signed for. They actually walk it to the embassy, get it renewed, and then they send it back to you. Now, yeah, there's a premium to that.
Right.
But I would rather have that than wonder.
Right, someone stealing your identity
like
or something.
Like you say, bureaucracy. Where's my passport?
Yeah.
Where is that going?
Yeah. And then and then they send you the old one back with a giant hole in the middle.
And you should hold on to your old one, definitely.
Yeah.
You want them both back. You want the new one and the old one.
Yeah.
But you have to, send it with a new photo, and then there's guidelines with the photos too. Sometimes, most people go to Walgreens or the CVS pharmacies for their passport pictures, and if you get a clerk or someone that's not really on top of it,
right?
Like they'll take your picture with your glasses on. That's a no-no. Take your glasses off.
Right.
I mean, they have very strict guidelines of the positioning and the size and the background of your photo. So don't think you could just stand on a wall at home.
You can't take a selfie and do it.
No. One of those selfie sticks.
Yeah. And then lastly, and you've preached this the whole time and I don't understand the stickler for this, but if your passport has a crease in it, if one of the sides are bent, they won't take it.
Oh, it can't have any damage to it, whether it's a bent page, whether it's some water's been spilled on it. Yes, it must be, because that's what they look for, on falsified passports, those types of things.
Right.
Oh yeah, it must be in perfect condition. So always protect your passport.
I mean,
even when you're traveling, don't, if you're out and it's a rainy day and you have your, I always suggest travel with a
Ziploc bag or something.
Yeah. Ziploc. Exactly.
I mean, it's very different back in the old days, right? When you were traveling around the world and you had your swashbuckling hat and your passport and your papers and you pulled it out of your back pocket, right? Those days are long gone, I guess.
Well, isn't that what you do?
No, I wish. I do whatever my travel agent tells me to do.
You look like a swashbuckler.
Oh, I'm a swashbuckler.
Pull
all
out
right.
that passport.
By the way, did I see on altairtravel.com that our Italy trip is officially sold out?
It's sold out. Yep.
Sold out.
No more space.
No more space.
No.
Well,
no.
You did it again.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I mean, it shows you the popularity, first of all, of the destinations we're going to. And it shows you also the popularity of the uniqueness of how we're traveling.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, it's a small ship. So yeah, they sell out.
Yeah,
and that's why really we start, people might say, oh, you start these trips so early,
Right.
I'm not prepared to sign up now. But that's why we have to do it.
Right.
They sell out.
Yeah, this one's going to be one for the books. All right, Pat Blassie, try and stay warm. Get back to the phones. People will be calling you to get them off to the Caribbean for a couple of days, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.